Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to Brian's Panties and Sports. Spring has arrived, and for many of us, the weather has been marvelous. And this is a Easter weekend. It's but before I get in trouble with all the religions of the world, whatever part of the weekend is yours, enjoy, do your thing, but don't be mad at me now. Hey, look, I went to a Methodist church, so that's about all I can remember. Now, I'm split face, and today we got a guest host. The First Lady of Sports Talk, Cheryl Smith, is taking care of a family issue, no problem, no emergency. And so she won't be here this weekend, but we do have Kevin Kev filling in. Good morning to you, Kevin.
Hey, good morning, Spitface. Happy to step in for First Lady that's not able to cover the show today. I hope everything is well for her, and I'm excited to step in for her.
All right. Kevin Kev up in the great north, and I'm down here in Texas, so we covering the nation. Now, this week on Shout Out, we have performances from DANJO. Will they find their shining star or get the cold feel of the mute button? So we shall see. Now, each week, we try to figure out what is going on in the sports world. Not the plays of the week, more like the players of the week. Are they trying to tell us something? So we ask, what you say? Fly, little birdie, fly. Time keeps on slipping into the future. Time keeps on slipping into the future. So I want to fly like an eagle to the sea. Fly like an eagle. Let the spirit carry me. I want to fly right into the future. The little birdie known as Eldrick Pond, Tiger Woods, wishes he could fly far away from another incident regarding him, a vehicle, and driving impaired. None of this has anything to do with the remote possibility he has a semblance of a chance of winning a tournament against darn near any group of pro players. Why are we discussing Tiger Woods as a professional golf player, to be precise, an active professional golf player? Whatever the reason, the single finger of fate keeps him locked in this vicious cycle of self-inflicted agony. We in the sports world, including fans, need to move on. There is no last hurrah for Tiger. It's adios. We'll wonder if the producers are being mean to Tiger. George Foreman, Marvelous Bobby Hagler, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., and the Steve Miller Band are asking what you saying. Kevin Kev, they might be being a little mean to Tiger, But I do think that, unfortunately, fame has costs. And one of the costs is that whatever level of, quote, fame that you get, if it's where people know your name in the nation, forever anything that you do is going to be put on blast. So if you have an accident, if you get arrested, if anything negative, it's going to get blown up because you were one time whatever. But, when I kind of look at Tiger, it's like, dude, your legacy, I'm going, maybe it has already been tainted, but you don't want to just have it totally diminished. And, there's that point many athletes go through it, where they were at the top of the game and then Father Time creep in and they start stumbling and bumbling, you're not as fast as you were, not as agile. And some of them look really bad. So it's like, dude, you should have retired 4 years ago. This thing where every 5 years he suddenly, or whatever amount of time, appear on the court, and we treat it like as, well, I think the time has passed when we treat it like he's going to be a threat to anyone. But I'm going, why does he even bother? Like, dude, why are you got, it ain't the money. And even if it's about ego, okay, my ego would say, I don't want to look bad. Ego will tell me I don't want to look bad. And, and I'm going up against competition that's 30 years younger than me. I ain't winning nothing. But, no. Am I with the producers hanging out being mean?
I don't think you're being mean at all. I mean, I think the thing with Tiger Woods is so tragic about it is that these are self-inflicted wounds, right? I mean, we all know, although LeBron is trying to defeat Father Time, right, still playing at 40 at a high level, for all the rest of us, by the time you get to 40, you're hanging it up. So we wouldn't expect Tiger to be at the top of his golf game winning major tournaments at 40. But, he got in trouble with prescription drugs, alcohol, wrecked his marriage, wrecked his car. I mean, it could be a whole Netflix series just on the first 40, 45 years of his life, right? And then after that, you would think, okay, you got your body back into shape. No one was thinking that you would win a golf tournament, but you at least got back out on the tour. So to me, there was a redemption arc to his life. And then it appears he's throwing that away, right? I mean, I think that's what's the sad tragedy, right, of Eldrick Tiger Woods, is that he's thrown it away. Arguably the most talented golfer of all time, right? He didn't win more championships than Jack Nicklaus, but you could see when Jack watched him play the awe that he had about the way that he could handle himself on a golf course. But as great as he was on the golf course, it's almost as bad off of the golf course. And that's what just makes it such a terrible tragedy.
Yeah. And, Kevin, also I think that there was a kind of a persona that Tiger had. And when that bubble was pierced, it was just like he, just shriveled on up, just like, whoa, once the mystique was gone, it was like, damn, But, now we wish Tiger well in his recovery and all that stuff. But Tiger, just go away. Go away. And is your son any good at golf?
Well, yeah. I think that, yeah. I mean, the NBA and the NFL both have a 24-hour car service, right? And obviously Tiger has made enough money, not even just playing golf, designing golf courses, right? He makes a ton of money doing that. So it just boggles the mind as it relates to how he is going to be getting himself a DUI, right? So yes, I hope, like you, that he deals with the personal demons. Hopefully those under control. But, it's sad to see what has come. And the other thing for great athletes in this time, I'll be talking about Kirk Cousins a little bit later on, is just the amount of money, right? So when Nicklaus was winning all those championships, it's not to say that he did money, because he did make money then, but it's nowhere near what guys make now. You talk about the competition and the level going up, in tenfold more than what Jack had. So,
hey, that's the nature of the entertainment business, because that is what professional sports is, the entertainment business. But it's okay, because I ain't going out there with the big 250-pound defensive end running me over. Y'all can keep that money. You can keep it. All right. Okay, let's see. Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years, rocking my peers and putting something severe, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go boom. explosion, overpowering, over the competition, I'm towering. Record shop when I drop these lyrics that'll make you call the cops. Don't you dare stare, you better move. Don't ever compare me to the rest that'll all get sliced and diced competition paying the price. I'm gonna knock you out, huh? Mama said knock you out, huh? We are talking about the knockout punch to Duke's chances of being in the Final Four as the number 1 seed, losing 72-73 to UConn. Duke lost to UConn 73-72 in the 2026 Elite Eight after blowing a 19-point first half lead, culminating in a costly turnover by Caden Boozer and a game-winning logo three-pointer by UConn's Braylon Mullins with .4 seconds left. UConn's aggressive defense forced turnovers while Duke struggled to hold their lead in the final 10 seconds. UConn freshman Braylon Mullins stole the ball after an errant Caden Boozer pass and ultimately buried a three-pointer from 35 feet with .4 seconds left to cap a remarkable 19-point comeback and give the Huskies a 73-72 win. They advanced to the Final Four for the third time in 4 years, looking to become the first team since UCLA in the 1970s to win 3 national championships in 4 years. Leroy Satchel Paige, Walter Buck Leonard, and James Cool Papa Bell are asking what you saying. What I'm saying, Kevin Kev, is that Duke choked. They choked, good buddy. And, Dizzy Mack, they disqualify as a choke.
Man, I was with the semi-shake girls on the bearskin rug, and we did this together. Yes. Again, you have to make sure as a coach that the players know how to play. I know that sounds crazy, but at that moment, hold the ball, get fouled. Don't do anything that could cause a turnover. And when they turned it over, it was just like somebody just stuffed 2 or 3 turnovers down their throat. Yes, that I would consider that March Madness choke, and it would go down in history as that shot hit nothing but net. He looked like Steph Curry shooting from the logo. Yeah. He's gonna have a long summer thinking about that.
Well, someone has to be the hero. Someone has to be the GOAT. Much better being the hero. Kevin K, what you say?
Oh, it's definitely much better to be the hero than the GOAT here. And this is Mac. It's good to hear you, man. I kind of, I don't know, what is it? A song about the skeleton choking on the crust of bread. Well, that's kind of how I was thinking Duke must be feeling.
You said at the moment they all scratchy throat.
And then, you don't know what to do in the last couple of seconds. Even, people calling timeout in Michigan, right? Just hold on to the ball. Didn't make any sense. I was looking at UConn. I mean, UConn, if they win, right? You said it, Spitface. If they win, that's 3 in a row. And you start thinking of all the great teams that have won 3 in a row. I mean, I'm not saying that there aren't some UConn Huskies in the NBA, because there several are in the NBA. But I don't think any of them are going to wake up the echoes of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. or Bill Walton anytime soon, right? Am I missing something, this Mac? Do we need to reevaluate how good Hurley is as a coach? Because he's got good talent. There's no doubt about that. But he's taken that talent to a whole different level, right?
Right. You know, I mean, definitely, you're right. I think he's better equipped as a coach because he tapped in to those bench players throughout his career. You know, he's tapped in to the feelings of what the coach was teaching. He wasn't as talented as his brother, per se. He was handed the ball immediately when he got on the court by Coach K. But he understands, I think, the intricacies of coaching behind the coaching and being able to have his players in a position, double team the ball. Hey, you never know. He may try to pass it. We may can get a turnover. And they did. And the extra pass, you know, that was the key, the extra pass. Somebody that was known to shoot well in a normal situation made the extra pass to the open man. Nobody can get to him. His feet were set. And usually when your feet are set, you can more than likely hit the shot. And that was just what happened. I think as a coach, he definitely has taken it further than his father and his brother. And then, you know, the one that can laugh and say, hey, 3 in a row, buy me a beer.
Let me get a cold.
Yeah, that's saying a lot because his dad was a high school legend. I don't know if there's many high school coaches that have won more state championships or more games than him. I mean, it's a really short list. But I think you're right. I think they're going to have to buy, his dad is going to have to buy him a beer because if they win 3 in a row, that's beyond amazing. And you're right, man.
I mean, the kid that hit the shot, he wasn't there with his jaw slacked open and wondering what was going to happen. He had his hands ready to catch the pass. He was moving to get his feet set, so he was ready in the moment to take the shot. And hey, if I make it, I make it, but I'm ready to do it. You know, that's a sign of a good coach.
All of his players are ready to execute when the moment comes.
Right.
All right. Okay. The coach did it. Well, look, the First Lady would be taking the last word on this, but she ain't here. But stay tuned up next. We have a performance from, and I hope I don't mess this name up, DANJO on Shout Out Part 1. You know, I'm ready to hear some DANJO. We need some DANJO in the morning.
Mr. Bond.
Hey, free Mr. Bond. Welcome back. The music flows in from around the globe to get a shout out from the panel. We can't wait to hear the music from DANJO. On Shout Out, we feature new independent artists who are looking to find their shining star. If we like what we hear, we give the track a shout out. If we don't like it, we hit the mute button. We are featuring music from DANJO and their self-titled album, DANJO. But guess what? We have a member of the band here live. We have Mr. Danny right now. Welcome to Bras, Panties, and Sports.
Man, what's happening, y'all?
Hey, we just trying to do it. You know, now it says that, let me see, what did it say there? I got to break out my spectacles so I can see. And they say party tonk, modern country. The influences are big and rich. And who do y'all sound like? They sound like DANJO. They sound like themselves. Okay, now, I was listening to a little outlaw country, and I'm going, now wait, this ain't my granddaddy's country music anymore. What happened with you folks?
Man, in the country music world, it like changes every 10 years or so. There's some good outlaw stuff, like what Hank Jr. and then you got the classics, Merle Haggard and stuff. Then things start transitioning, then you got into your bubblegum country and your modern bro kind of pop country. But as myself and my buddy Barefoot Joe, hence the name DANJO, we have our own solo careers and our own taste of music, our own breed of music. But we come to DANJO and it's like, we want to have fun. We want to rock it up. We want to have fun and just kind of party and do what we want to do. And this is what it is. I mean, we want to have that fun aspect in the music world because I think it's missing a lot of that nowadays. It's getting too serious and too, I don't know, something else. But we want the party tonk out there.
Party on. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, what we're about to hear this first track coming on up, and it's called Redneck Style. So hey, we're gonna check them on out.
Let's do it.
Country gonna have us a good time.
Got myself a cold beer, driving down the tailgate, hopping on a John Deere, fix it with some duct tape, hell yeah, yep, lighting up a bonfire, spitting in a dip can, spinning them truck tires, y'all can't do it like we can.
Out in the country we get crazy, out in the country we get wild, out in the country we get crazy, you can't touch my redneck style. Way out here in the country gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country gonna have us a good time. Hell yeah.
Go on, tell 'em about it, Danny.
Shooting up a stop sign. My girl can't miss. Having at the moonshine. Kiss her like a catfish. Way out here in the country, gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country, gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country, gonna have us a good time. Way out here in the country, gonna have us a good time. Out in the country we get crazy. Out in the country we get wild. Out in the country we get crazy. You can't touch my redneck style.
All right. That was Redneck Style. Now you heard it for yourself, but the panel is going to vote whether or not it's getting a thumbs up or if it's hitting the mute button. So, Dizzy Mac, over there naked on the bearskin rug. What's your feelings about redneck style?
I mean, having lived in the South, I think it would get a lot of airplay down along the Gulf and the surrounding states. So, yes, I'm giving it a shout-out.
All right, you giving them the shout-out. Kevy Care, what's the word? I think Kevy Care might be on mute at the moment or working out his technology, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a shout-out. And I thought it was moving and grooving, and my man on the violin was smoking. I thought he was smoking. Okay. Did we get Kevy Care back?
Yeah, Spitface, I'm back. Yeah, I would also give it a thumbs up. I really liked it as well. I could imagine a couple of good-looking co-eds tapping their feet, right?
Yeah. I thought it was a fun track. I like fun music, and so I thought that it could cross over definitely. And Danjo, you mentioned something about you like people to feel good and party. Now I'm not saying what I got in my coffee, but there is some cream.
Man, I'll tell you what, man, I appreciate y'all. This is one of 6 remixes. This is the original one you just heard. There's 6 remixes, and I'll tell you a little story. One of my buddies produced this thing, and he was on season 6 American Idol. He was a runner-up. He lost to Jordan Sparks. His name is Blake Lewis. And Blake was a beatboxer on American Idol, only beatboxer they ever had. And he is a great guy and great person, so he engineered this version you heard. And there are some other versions out there, like West Coast bass version, sped up version, club mix versions. It's really interesting what can be done with this song. And co-eds dancing around barefoot. That's great.
You know what I mean? The long hair. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Now remember, this is an adult show. Okay. But what's that sound? What's that splashing in the water? And is that my favorite underwater friend? Is it time for Flip It? All right. It's time for Flipper.
Hold on, Ronnie B. Flipper, you wetting up the Shimmy Shea girls. I told you cannot have a wet T-shirt contest in the studio. Cannot do it, Flipper. Stop it.
Flipper, now you've been told. You endangering your tune. All right. It's time for Flip It, while hosts defend the point and then flip the script and defend the opposing view. And we should have known that Dizzy Mac was going to fly in on that bearskin mug, because first up is the Raiders. Had the first pick in the draft, and and will more than likely grab old boy Fernando. But they just signed Kirk Cousins for a guaranteed $20 million. You got that, no matter what. And overall, a $172 million contract. Does this signal Fernando will not be the starter? This signals nothing but the Raiders want a reliable backup. Now, Fernando is the man, and they're going to spend that first pick of the draft on him. They take him, he the one. And the Raiders, I'll just say that they've been in the wilderness for so long that it's about time they lucked up in the draft and got what they needed and got that quarterback. It's about time. And I'm going, Raiders fans, look, y'all have had Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but it's been a long time, Now, opposite the Bears, who's never had a Hall of Fame quarterback, but they got one with potential. So maybe you're on the lucky streak too. Fernando will be the man. But don't get all, don't get your panties all bunched up. Kirk ain't starting. They got him to be, they need a smart backup and someone that can tutor Fernando. So, all that signing does is they were going to have to pay Kirk Cousins or whoever probably about $20 million, because that's the, as Kevin Kev said, it's all about the dollar bills, and now what they make it versus, back whenever, come on, they did, back then dropping the bucket, but, no, this is not a move, where Fernando is being signaled he ain't going to be the starter, but he is going to be starting first game of the season. Kevin Kev, the thing, starting Kirk Cousins would not be a splash, and the Raiders need a splash. Fernando will be the starter.
Yeah, Fernando has to be the starter. The Raiders have not made the playoffs for several years now. They've moved to a new venue. They've got an owner that we know that loves to win, and we're not necessarily talking about Al Davis Jr., but we're talking about Tom Brady. And if they don't splash right away, heck, maybe Brady jumps in front of Cousins and decides that he wants to play. Yeah. I mean, given what he was doing on the flag football, he looked pretty good with that ducking under and that deep throw. They got to have something to revitalize what's going on with the Raiders. So, yeah, I could see guy that won a national title, great storybook story, comes to his hometown of Miami to win the national title. They're singing Fernando to him in the stands as he's winning it. That's a good story they can get behind. Maybe that's what starts to have people buy more season tickets for him. So I can see how they could start him right away.
All right. And before we go to Dizzy Mac, our guest, Danny, did you want to comment on that Fernando ain't got to worry about being the starter? He is going to be the one.
The only thing I got to say is I'm a Rams fan, so there you go.
Enough said. Right. Well, we'll go to the Raiders, man. Dizzy Mac. With that iPad, get that iPad off your face, Dizzy.
Well, I can't help it. I can't help it, Ronnie B. And Dan, you just like Mr. Vaughn. You're a Raider, you're a Rams fan, but
yeah.
But you know, Kirk Cousins got that speech just like they told Gino, you mess up, you're out of here. So be prepared to work this summer teaching Fernando the ropes, and just like Tommy Lasorda did down there in L.A., he gave Fernando the ball. just like that, Fernando. They're going to give young Fernando the ball, and he's going to have to be able to soak up all he can in practice sessions, film sessions, because Kirk Cousins is going to be on the sidelines with the clipboard and the headset, signaling in plays, because Fernando will have his way as the starting quarterback, because they got everything they need. Running attack, 2 tight ends. Hey, get the ball out your hands and get out the way so you can make it as an NFL quarterback and have staying power. But he's going to be the Raiders starting quarterback.
Mm-hmm. All right. Okay. Now, this is flipping, so we're going to flip the script. The Raiders have been woeful and need to steady the ship with someone experienced. Cousins will start. So we defend. Fernando is the future starter, not the one throwing the first passes of the season. You know, when I look at it, Fernando, you don't draft someone number one not to have them be your starting quarterback. But that doesn't mean they need to start on day one. And the Raiders, there's a lot of work to be done with the Raiders. And it's a matter of, do you want to throw your inexperienced rookie quarterback, number one draft pick, future of the franchise, to the Lions? You know, those first games of the season where the team may not be up to par to give him the type of protection he needs. And where, again, defenses are smart, and those defensive coordinators go, oh, you're going to give me this rookie? And let's test him. And you know what testing is? Testing a rookie quarterback is called send in the rush. Send in that pass. See how fast he can get rid of that ball and make that decision. Hey, don't throw him into the fire early and end up ruining him, as has happened with many a quarterback who was drafted with that number one pick, who they threw him in the fire right away. No, you got someone who's been through who's been through the ups, the downs, who's played for a couple of different teams, so he know the drill. He's been around. So when they grabbed Cousins, they said, "Hey, look, to me that was a statement saying, look, we want to get our ship together so we can win long haul, and we need to win now, not later." Yeah, Fernando's gonna come in. It might be halfway through the season, or depending on how the Raiders are doing, it might be the following season, which, contrary to some misinformed belief, it is not a bad thing if your number one pick ends up not starting for 1 or 2 seasons. Okay? And case in point, Aaron Rodgers. Now, I ain't saying Kirk Cousins is Brett Favre, but Kirk Cousins wouldn't want to say he was Brett Favre. So, it is what it is. Kevin can defend. Fernando is a future starter, not the one throwing the first passes of the season.
No, he's not going to be the starter. I mean, the question is, does he sit the whole first year, or do they wait until, halfway into the season, maybe when they get a couple cream puffs on the schedule, that he gets a chance to get in there? They've got to play the Broncos twice. The Broncos defense is no joke, right? Kansas City probably will reload. They're going to be hungry because They didn't make the playoffs. They've got something to prove. They're going to have the Bills on their schedule. They're going to have some team from Los Angeles on their schedule. I think they're called the Rams. They seem to be pretty good. There's another team that's also pretty good on their schedule, the Seahawks. So they're going to have to try to work him in. Maybe when that Jets-Browns kind of Titans portion of their schedule comes up, maybe get him in there. But you don't pay $20 million to Kirk Cousins to have him not really compete for the position. You paid him $20 million. 10 of it, yes, comes, or 8.7 million of it comes from Atlanta. 11.3 comes from Los Angeles or Las Vegas. So within that space, they've made an investment in Cousins. So I would be dumbfounded if he doesn't start the season. Now, the nice thing about Cousins is that in relationship to Fernando is that he has the right temperament. He took being the number 2 in Atlanta the right way, said all the things publicly in the right way. When he got his chance after Penix went down, he didn't gloat. He did it the right way, was professional about his opportunity to get in. But he's at a point in time in his career where this is an ideal situation for him. And I think he's going to make the most of it. He's going to come in guns a-blazing as it relates to being the starter, and he's going to try and ride it as long as he can. But he knows at some point in time he's going to have to hand over the keys to the car to Fernando. And the Raiders' offensive line is no good, right? They need to revamp it. So there's no reason, as you say, to put the kid to the Lions right away. Give him some time to develop. And, what a great situation he's in. I mean, Cousins is the best negotiator of contracts, maybe of all time in the NFL. So Fernando, I think you're joking on that, right? Cousins guaranteed money in the NFL, $331 million.
Yeah.
Tom Brady, yeah. Tom Brady is maybe $1 million behind him in that category, right? I mean, in what categories are those guys in the same, except for guaranteed money? Cousins is a genius in that spot. So Fernando can learn some things on the field and off the field as well. What do you think, Dizzy Mac?
Hey, Kevin K, you hit the nail right on the head. That guaranteed money. But I think Fernando will play. I think this is a situation where you have a chance to use him as QB2, play him in the second half of the preseason games, let him get some work. Anytime there's a blowout, either way, losing or winning, you play him, you get him on the field. But again, Cousins will start. At this point, he gives the Raiders the best chance to win. And it's all about what Al Davis, may he rest in peace, said. Win, baby. So it's a matter of putting him in, giving him experience at the right time, letting him see live action, helping him learn through practice, film study, that this is what you do. This is how you become a true professional, not just at playing, but getting that guaranteed money on contracts later down the line. And Kirk Cousins can teach him a thing or two. Probably even introduce him to his agent. So, this is a good situation for Fernando to learn, but Kirk Cousins give the Raiders the best chance at this point. If everything goes right, this may be a chance for him to take this year to learn. As long as Kirk Cousins is doing the job, handling the offense like it should be, this would be a good chance for Fernando to learn. But put him in there. give him a chance to play. Like I said, second half of these preseason games, blowout situations, either way, make sure that he has a chance to see the field. Don't do him like Aaron Rodgers and have him just, on the sidelines, ignored. Even Brett Favre was ignoring him. Brett Favre was under the impression, I'm not trying to babysit nobody for him to take my position. But see, Kirk Cousins is in a better situation. All that money he has socked away, hey, let him, learn and get a feel. And I can just be off the field during the first, after the first half. But we'll see how he performs, getting in there, training camp, when he does get a chance to get on the field. But he will not start this year.
All right. Okay. That was the final word on that part of Flip It. But we're flipping it on Flip It Pod 2. The Warriors, remember them, are at this point are in the play-in and just barely. Now, if they end up playing out, and what we mean by playing out, they lose in the play-in and don't go any further, should Steph Curry and Draymond both call it a career? So we defend. They both still have something in the tank. That a healthy Jimmy Butler and maybe a good trade will have that team competing. Steph is getting closer to that exit, door. And so is Draymond. Now, but I think that it's not that they're aging and that's causing the Warriors to be in the position that they're in. It's other players. And what I mean by other players is that, their day is coming closer, but that gives an opportunity for other players to start stepping up and filling the role. And Jimmy Butler to get healthy and be what they needed to take that team. So they have one more shot. They got another good year in them, both Steph and Draymond, and maybe a good 2 years before they have to call it quits. But they have enough talent, skill, and basketball smarts where if the Warrior organization get them pieces together, they will be competing. Now, can they win another championship? It's a whole nother story. But can they keep that team competitive? And I put it like this, and at least threaten? They can do that. They can do that. Dizzy Mack defend. They both still have something in the tank. And they can keep that team competitive. Defend.
They both have something in the tank, I think, enough for one more year. I think getting healthy is the main thing. I've seen dramatic changes in Draymond's game while he's been the only one that stayed fairly healthy. He's cut down on his turnovers. He takes the shot when he needs to, albeit being a funky shot from the three. But I think adding the pieces will help them. I think you trade Pozinski and get some help. I think you retain Milton. Even Guy Santos has stepped up, and I think he would be a critical piece. I think Gary Payton II, has played extremely well. Double-figure points, rebounds, and very good assist-to-turnover ratio. So those are pieces that you can retain, but you have to get a solid big man or two and probably another guard that can distribute and hit the open shot. But I think Draymond and Steph, you get them healthy, they can do what they normally do at least for one more year until you can get Jimmy Butler back healthy again. And don't forget Moses Moody. You know, I think he went down with a torn patella tendon. If you can get them healthy again, I think that would help not only with the health, but the mental health of Steph and Draymond, making sure that they ride one more time.
All right. Okay, one more time. Okay. Kevin Care, the Thin, they both still have something in the tank.
Oh, they both still have something in the tank. And anytime an NBA team can get to the playoffs, as they say, you got a chip putting a chance. So they have enough, especially if they can get Butler back, maybe make a trade or two to get back into the playoffs. And, hey, who knows what happens then. Steph is scoring a little over 27 points this year. His career average is 24.8, so that's up. So Draymond's numbers are about the same for what he has had over his career. So, again, they have enough in the tank to be able to come back. It just becomes a question of the desire, right? Maybe fire in the tank is the wrong word with Draymond, because it seems to me I remember him cussing a couple of his teammates out, 18, 19 games into the season, right? Yeah, you thought I forgot about that. No, I didn't forget about that. So to that extent, he's fired up, right? But he's got to have some players around him that make it such that the Warriors aren't worried about getting just into the playoffs, but actually being a good, solid playoff team. But, hey, they've spent money before for the Warriors, so maybe they will do it again and give Curry one more opportunity to win a ring. And by the way, Spitface, I'm going to take exception to what you said. The Chicago Bears have actually had a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think you're forgetting Sid Luckman, right?
I had to move the dust off the books.
Right. Now, I will grant you that Sid Luckman was inducted in 1965, which means that Del Curry was 1 year old at that time. Yeah, I'll get you. I grant you that it goes back a ways. Yeah. But they did have one.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, we're going to flip the commentary. So let's flip it. Neither Steph or Draymond has LeBron's body. Before Father Time kicks them out, they should hang up the shoes. The Thin, Miss Cleo sees retirement for Steph and Draymond. Okay. Something that Kevin Care mentioned, it's that desire part. And part of the desire part is that can we win it all? Not just can we win, not even can we be competitive, can we win it all? Steph can put up points. Draymond is going to be consistent. No telling how the pieces are going to fit in jail. But one thing is for sure, the Oklahoma City team is no joke. And the San Antonio Spurs are knocking on the door. And until you can compete with those two teams, you ain't going nowhere in the West. It ain't happening. And right now, they're the younger, stronger teams. They can try rebuilding on the sly, and keeping as Steph and Draymond play. But Miss Cleo already sees that future, and it's called retirement. So they might even have the desire, but just like with many a great player, it's like I got the desire, I'm ready to go, but this is the year that Father Time says, hang up them shoes. So the mind may say yeah, but the body say this is it. Hang up those shoes and do it before Father Time has to kick you out. Dizzy Mack defend Miss Cleo sees retirement for both of them boys.
Hey, Miss Cleo is seeing clearly through that crystal ball and that J she's smoking. You know, she's seeing it clearly. She's seeing it clearly, albeit through the falls of the marijuana smoke. But you have to count your blessings that, hey, you didn't have a injury like Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler, but you have the 4 rings. You have the notoriety of having that type of dynasty on your ledger in history. I really think that, hey, Father Time catches up to all players at some time that have played the number of years they played at the level that they played at. So it catches up with you, the desire to be able to put your body through another training camp, put up 1,000 shots a day, lifting weights. I think it's just hard for them to process and understand that behind the mic, movies, commercials, sounds like a better option at this point for them. They could probably make a good penny well into their retirement being talking heads, So, no, I think they really are considering what it is that they want to do, because they'll never get back to the level that they were. Like you said, Spitface, San Antonio, OKC, the defending champs, are just too tough. Wemby is just waiting around the basket to swat away any hope that they may have. So, no, I think the end of the road will come visit them after this season.
All right, okay. Dizzy and Dan, representing DANJO. Isn't there a country song for the end of the road?
Man, I don't know, but I'll tell you something. How are the Washington Wizards doing? Yeah. But, I would love to see Steph Curry, play golf, professional golf. That guy's a golfer. I'm telling you. He's a good golfer.
Hey, and in retirement, he could have plenty of time.
That's
right.
To
work on his game. All right, Kevin Kev, Miss Cleo sees retirement for Steph and Draymond.
Oh, she must have been looking at the TV with me last night. The Thunder game against the Lakers, it was a 43-point blowout, and I dare say it wasn't even that close, right? Both Austin Reeves and LeBron James, they said they beat the blank out of us, right? So, yeah, you have to look at those two teams, the Thunder and Spurs. Neither one of them is going anywhere, at least for the next 5 years, right? They're just not. They're going to be competing for the championship, and it's hard to imagine that the Lakers can get past either one of those teams, especially when they spank you by 43 points. They came out, pressed them. They couldn't get into their offense. They smothered them on defense. They were down more than 20 early on in the first, 8-10 minutes of the game. They were burning timeouts, trying to get people fired up. And then, it looks like Luka might have tweaked his hamstring. Maybe he's not even going to be healthy for the playoffs. No, you got to look at those two teams and say, hey, as we're currently constructed, maybe it is time to retire. Now, the one thing I would say for Steph, right, he's not had, it's hard to imagine him playing in another town. I don't think it's going to be the Wizards, DANJO, by the way. I think he might, right, go somewhere and maybe see if he can get another ring, being that deadly assassin from the three-point line and playing a little bit of 2 and a point from time to time on a team. But it's hard to imagine where he could slide into that role. But he, to me, is chasing 5,000 three-pointers. And if he can squeeze out another 2 years, he's got a legitimate shot to do that. I mean, it might be one of the greatest records of all time in sports, the number of three-pointers, and he's got a chance to really put it way out there for somebody to be able to go out and chase. So I think that motivates him to come back. It's hard for me to just see, I know I'm supposed to be talking about Steph hanging it up, but I just can't see him hanging it up after this next season. But I definitely can't see him thinking, he'd have to get his head examined, that as they're currently constructed with the Warriors, that they really have a solid chance to beat the Thunder and the Spurs. Those two teams are just too stacked. This is going to be a golden age of NBA basketball. I mean, we're just coming into it, the way those two teams are playing.
All right. Okay. Well, we've had both sides of flip it this week. On the other side, so it is time to take a break. On the other side of the break, we have another performance from DANJO. We don't know if it'll be as good as that first track. It might be kind of hard. On Shout Out Part 2, please keep your ears glued to those speakers. Welcome back. The music flows from around the globe to get a shout out from the crew. On the second part of shout out, we are featuring another track from DANJO. And Dan, what had y'all put girls on the dance floor together?
You got to listen to it. It's a fun track, a fun dance club kind of track, I think. Think of it like country disco almost back in the 70s, 60s, 70s. I think it's a hit.
Country disco. Okay. All right. All right. DJ, let's hear the title track, Girls on the Dance Floor.
Yeah. All right. I gave my money to the bouncer, bought myself a cold 12-ouncer. The band was playing a downer. I thought, damn, these girls don't get dressed up for nothing. Something's gotta get them buzzing. Playing something bumping cover band.
Cause there ain't no sense and having this 21 up club looking like a high school dance. Man, where's them jams? From the red velvet rope to the cash only sign, you got no good excuse for a dead Friday night. There ain't no secret to a damn good time. It's just girls on the dance floor and beer all night, singing oh 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 oh.
Talking, there's more shaking than players walking. I can't sit and watch them all night long. But I gotta get out in the middle. Ain't got moves, but I got a little pretty thing over there saying, boy, come on.
Cause there ain't no sense in having this 21 up club looking like a high school dance. Man, where's them jams? From the red velvet rope to the cash only sign, you got no good excuse for a dead Friday night. There ain't no secret to a damn good time. It's just girls on the dance floor and beer on night singing. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Well, I don't care if your dance floor is a whole 40 acres underneath moonlight, or just the top of your friend's pontoon, green asphalt turf with a slide.
Save the slow jams for the bedroom when you want to make a little love. But all you bar bands and Bluetooth DJs, get down and turn it up.
From the red velvet rope to the cash only sign, you got no good excuse for a dead Friday night. There ain't no secret to a damn good time. It's just girls on the dance floor and beer on night singing. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. Dance floor. Oh, 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 beer on night. Oh, 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 oh.
All right. That was Girls on the Dance Floor. And I'm going to go ahead and give it a shout out. It was a fun track, and I can see it being played at the country clubs, definitely. But I know some sisters, they get throwing their boots on right now so that they can do a little something. Dizzy Mac, is it getting a shout out or the mute button?
It's getting a shout out. It's ready for Nashville. That could be played at the club, some of the country western clubs and some of the places. Fun track, very fun track. I think you may have something on your hands, Dan.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate y'all.
Kevin Kev, are we giving it a shout out or the mute button?
Oh, we're giving it a shout out. This is kind of an Einstein, to me, kind of song. You know what they say about Einstein? The definition of genius is taking the complex and making it simple. Girls on the dance floor, beer all night. Good times.
I'm a girls on the dance floor kind of guy myself. All right. And Dan, we thank you for joining in with us tonight and giving us some insight. Where can how can our listeners follow you? Check out what you guys are doing. What's the best way?
Yeah, the best way is just send me $3,000 monthly, and no, come on, man. Let's see. The best way to get us is going to be on website. It's DANJO, DANJOcountry.net. Yeah, so it's just go to DANJO, and I don't even know my own website. Tell you, it's kind of scary, huh?
All right.
So it's actually DANJOmusic.net, DANJOmusic.net. But follow us everywhere on DANJO Country. That's on social media handle, but DANJOmusic.net.
All right. Y'all heard it. Follow them. That is the end of shout outs. You can also check out DANJO on the Old Grumpy Radio Network. If you'd like to be heard or have any comments, please send your emails and tracks to talent@oldgrumpyradio.com. If you send it to something else at oldgrumpyradio.com, it will not get heard. They will just delete it. So the NBA hardwood picks are coming at the start of the NBA playoffs. So we will see what Kevy Kev, Dizzy Mac, and First Lady and myself who will become the winner of the hardwood picks. My top story to watch this week is the Final Four and the NCAA men and women's championship. That's got to be my top story to watch this week. Who will be the winners? Kevin Kev, what's your top story to watch this week?
Yeah, well, those are great top stories to watch for sure. I think I'm keeping an eye on. I'm going to keep an eye on all of those, and then in addition, I'm going to be seeing what happens on the NBA anti-tanking proposals. I'm really curious to see how they're going to try to figure that one out. So that's what I'm going to be watching. And by the way, I've got Arizona in the men's side of the bracket, and I got UCLA on the women's side of the bracket. UConn was just too easy to kind of pick them to be the winners.
So going against the grain a little bit. Okay. Dizzy Mac, what's your top story to watch this week?
Well, definitely all of the above that were just mentioned. Definitely, I'm looking at Illinois and UCLA. No, Illinois and South Carolina for the women's. But Illinois and the men's, I see them, making sure that they go out in the blaze of glory. And, I think my top story to watch this week, I don't know why it was a issue anyway, but I think it may be something to this. Anthony Edwards missing another game, not starting for the Minnesota Timberwolves when nature calls. I think he has to be in tune with nature at a different time than when tip-off is supposed to occur.
All right. Well, check out our current and previous episodes at braspantiesandsports.com. This is Spitface and First Lady Cheryl Smith was off this show, but we carried on. We want to thank Kebby Kev and Dizzy Mac and Danny of DANJO for being lively and with us. And you have been listening to Bras, Panties, and Sports. See you next week.
See you next week now.